Imagine you're a 12-year-old child in the year 1900. You're playing outside with your friends when you fall and scrape your knee on a rock. The wound doesn't seem serious. It bleeds a little, but you wash it and go home. A few days later, the area becomes red and swollen. Soon you develop a fever. The infection spreads. There are no antibiotics, no penicillin, no amoxicillin, no modern day antimicrobial drugs. Your doctor can do very little. Within weeks, that small scrape on your knee could cost you your life. As shocking as it sounds, this was the reality for millions of people just over a century ago. Today, we take antibiotics for granted. A sore throat, a wound infection, or pneumonia can often be treated with a few days of medication. But for most of human history, infections were all among humanity's greatest killers. In this video today, we will travel back in time and explore what life was like before antibiotics changed medicine forever. Humans have always lived alongside microorganisms. Long before anyone knew what bacteria were, people suffered from infectious diseases. Ancient civilizations in Egypt, Greece, Rome, India, and China all recorded outbreaks of diseases. People had no idea what caused these diseases. Some believed disease came from curses. Others blamed evil spirits. Many believed in the miasma theory, the idea that bad smelling air caused disease. Because the true cause of disease was unknown, treatments were often ineffective. Patients were treated with herbs, bloodletting, prayers, or superstitious remedies. Sometimes these treatments helped by chance. Often they did not. As cities grew larger and populations increased, infectious diseases spread more easily. Without effective medicines, outbreaks could devastate entire communities. Today, if you get a bacterial infection, your doctor may prescribe antibiotics. Most people recover quickly. Before antibiotics, the situation was completely different. A simple cut from a knife, a scratch from a thorn, a dental infection, a sore throat, any of these could become life threatening. Bacteria could enter the body through wounds and spread into the bloodstream. This condition, known today as sepsis, was often fatal. Even something as common as pneumonia was terrifying. In the early 1900s, pneumonia was sometimes called the old man's friend because it frequently caused death among elderly patients. Children were particularly vulnerable. Diseases such as scarlet fever, diphtheria, and bacterial meningitis claimed countless young lives. Families often lost multiple children to infectious diseases. Death from infection was considered a normal part of life. One of the greatest dangers women faced was childbirth. Today, modern hospitals use sterile techniques and antibiotics to prevent infections. Before these advances, giving birth carried enormous risks. Many women developed a condition called puerperal fever, also known as childbed fever. After delivery, bacteria could enter the reproductive tract and cause severe infection. The mother would develop high fever, abdominal pain, and weakness. Many died within days. In some hospitals, during the 19th century, maternal mortality rates were frighteningly high. Doctors unknowingly carried bacteria from one patient to another because they did not wash their hands properly. Thousands of women lost their lives not because of childbirth itself, but because of bacterial infections that followed. Now imagine needing surgery in the year 1900. You have appendicitis, or perhaps a broken bone requiring an operation. The surgeon performs the procedure successfully, but the danger is far from over. The greatest threat comes after surgery. The surgical wound may become infected. Once bacteria invade the tissues, doctors have very few options. Many patients who survived the operation died from post surgical infections. Because of this risk, surgeons were reluctant to perform complex procedures. Operations that are routine today, such as organ transplants, joint replacements, or open heart surgery, would have become impossible without effective antimicrobial agents. Modern surgery exists largely because antibiotics help protect patients from infection. For centuries, people fought diseases without understanding what caused them. Everything began to change during the 19th century. Scientists such as Louis Pasteur demonstrated that microorganisms existed and could cause diseases. At the same time, Robert Koch identified specific bacteria responsible for diseases such as tuberculosis and cholera. These discoveries gave rise to the germ theory of disease. For the first time, humanity understood that invisible microorganisms were responsible for many illnesses. It was a revolutionary idea. Doctors now knew the enemy, but knowing the enemy and defeating it were two very different things. Scientists still needed a weapon. The researchers around the world began searching for chemicals that could kill microbes without harming patients. One of the pioneers in this search was Paul Ehrlich. Ehrlich dreamed of creating what he called a magic bullet, a drug that would specifically target disease causing organisms. His work eventually led to salvarsan, one of the first successful antimicrobial drugs used against syphilis. Although it was an important breakthrough, the world still lacked a safe and effective treatment for most bacterial infections. Millions continued to die. Yet the stage had been set for one of the most important discoveries in medical history. In 1928, a Scottish scientist named Alexander Fleming noticed something unusual in his laboratory. A mold had accidentally contaminated one of his bacterial plates. Around the mold, the bacteria had stopped growing. Most people would have thrown the plate away, but Fleming, being Fleming, took a closer look. That moment would eventually lead to the discovery of penicillin, the first widely successful antibiotic. Medicine was about to enter a new era. The age of antibiotics had just begun. The story might have ended here. Fortunately, another group of scientists recognized the potential of penicillin. At the University of Oxford, a team led by Howard Florey and Ernst Chain began studying Fleming's work. The researchers faced enormous challenges. Penicillin was difficult to purify. It was unstable. Only tiny amounts could be produced. Despite these obstacles, Florey and Chain and their team worked tirelessly to develop methods for extracting and concentrating penicillin. Their experiments showed remarkable results. Infected laboratory animals recovered after treatment with penicillin. The next step was testing the drug in humans. Patients suffering from severe bacterial infections improved dramatically. For the first time, doctors possessed a powerful antibiotic capable of treating previously deadly infections. During World War II, large scale production of penicillin began. The antibiotic was used extensively to treat wounded soldiers and infection related illnesses. Countless lives were saved. A new era in medicine had just begun. The success of penicillin triggered an explosion of antibiotic discovery. Scientists around the world began searching for microorganisms capable of producing antimicrobial compounds. The period from roughly the 1940s through the 1960s is often called the golden age of antibiotics. During this time, many important antibiotics were discovered. These included streptomycin, chloramphenicol, tetracycline, erythromycin, and vancomycin. Each new antibiotic expanded the ability of doctors to treat bacterial infections. Diseases that once filled hospital wards became treatable. Survival rates improved dramatically. Complex surgeries became safer. Maternal mortality decreased. Life expectancy increased. For many scientists and physicians, it seemed as though infectious diseases might eventually be conquered completely. But nature had other plans. Bacteria were evolving, and the success of antibiotics would eventually lead to a new challenge: antimicrobial resistance. Thus, we saw that the discovery of antimicrobial agents did not happen overnight. It began with Ehrlich's dream of a magic bullet. It continued with Fleming, Florey, and Chain, and countless researchers who transformed penicillin into a life saving medicine. Together, these discoveries changed the course of human history. They transformed medicine, surgery, and public health. Yet, the story of antibiotics is not only a story of success, it is also a story of adaptation and resistance. In the next episode, we will explore exactly how antibiotics work and how these remarkable molecules attack bacterial cells.